Good morning, everyone. It's Lindsay Kusy here with the Good Place Collective. I'm here with my partner, Sarah Brown. Sarah, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
So good to see you here. We're having coffee with the collective, and we have a really special guest. We have Candice Falcon. Candice, say hi.
Hi. Thank you for the prompt.
Well, then I feel like we're not talking over one another. This is Candice Falcon of Falcon Artistry Specialty Tattooing. Candice, I met in Vancouver. For some of you who don't know, I'm part of an organization called BNI, Business Network International. And her and I got to meet each other and meld and have some chit-chatty time about the beauty industry and where we can be of service. And she has a really cool business, and I really love how niched her market is. And we are just thrilled to share Candice with the collective. So Candice, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Lindsay. I always appreciate your enthusiasm.
I have a lot of it. I have a lot of it.
Candice, I'm so glad, just reiterate what Lindsay said, so glad that you're here because what you do is so interesting and unique. So why don't you start off by telling everybody what it is that you do and let everybody know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, my name's Candice Falcon, and I own Falcon Artistry Specialty Tattoo. And what specialty is referring to in this case is cosmetic and restorative tattooing. Wow. So cosmetic tattooing includes permanent cosmetics, so like eyebrows, eyeliner, lips. And then the restorative work is things like hair follicle tattooing for hair loss, which is called scalp micropigmentation, or 3D appearance nipple tattoos post-mastectomy, or stretch mark and scar camouflage tattoo, like blending with your natural skin tone. There's so many different options through tattoo that people don't even realize. But what I try to kind of let people know is if there's something that bothers you or like a physical reminder, it can sometimes be helped through a tattoo, especially when it has to do with your skin. So, yeah, I just like to kind of put it out there and like spread more awareness. Yeah, there's so many different cool options, and like I can't even really list them all. So that's kind of the overview of what I do.
I love that. Thank you for the synopsis. It was really really clear. It's cool that I love that you kind of have that cosmetic side, and then like you say, you have that restorative side too. And I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people out there who, you know, maybe they are like uncomfortable with a certain thing, or there's something on their body that reminds them of something that's, you know, not so positive, and don't even know that there's an option that they could, you know, come to see you and maybe like you say, there's lots of things you offer that allow them to maybe come, you know, make peace with that and help with, you know, kind of the emotional side that comes with that. I just love that because I think it's so easy for people just to think they're stuck with something and that they can't, you know, they have to live with it forever, and knowing that actually that's not necessarily true. I just think it's amazing that you do what you do. Tell me a little bit more about your story. Like, how did you get into this? Like, did you start off as like just a tattoo artist? Or was it, you kind of went into the cosmetic and then moved into the restorative, or like, what does that look like? How did that all kind of happen?
Sure. So I've always been an artist. I'm still a painter. I tried to get into kind of, you know, making art into a career by doing graphic design and illustration program. And I just really didn't like computer art. I've always been like a hand-done art person. And I started out with cosmetic tattooing because I have had cosmetic tattoos since before people even knew. Like they were like, "You're getting your face tattooed." I was a lifeguard at the time, and I'm very fair, and you know, my eyebrows and the lashes are blonde, and my lips are the same color as my skin, and like it just needed some definition. And you know, if I didn't wear makeup, it was like, "Oh, are you tired? Are you sick?" And I'm like, "This is my face." But yeah, so that's what's cool about cosmetic too, is it really kind of gives you just like some natural looking definition. And it's not even necessarily about a makeup look. I mean, obviously my look isn't subtle, but you know, it's about giving you definition that some people are naturally born with, like Lindsay, like those, well, actually, yeah. I mean, I haven't met you in person, Sarah, but you know, I'm assuming you have more brow hair than I do, but
no, a lot of it is makeup on. You're right on. Yeah, right on.
yeah.
No, I can really relate to what you're saying actually, because I know for me, it's like when I get up in the morning, like makeup free, I'm like, Sarah, the least you could do is put your eyebrows on. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of, I think same thing, like I'm actually quite fair and don't have like natural features. I have to kind of highlight them. So I'm understanding what you're talking about. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's those things that really make a difference. You know, if you want to just get up and go, run a quick errand, it's frustrating to feel. You know, I don't like me personally. I don't ever want to feel like I need to put makeup on.
Right.
I like to put makeup on when it's my choice.
Right.
So if there's something that I can do that it's just done for me and it's taken care of and I can kind of keep it fairly low maintenance, then that's kind of my thing. So that was sort of my entry into the industry because it had really helped me out a lot and made me feel better about how I looked, and then you just kind of like, it's part of your identity. Like, yeah, I woke up like this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then I always really had a passion, especially for helping women, and I really did want to get into the nipple tattoos for the post-mastectomy clientele, and really kind of sort of spread more awareness about the existence of that service. And it's really a passionate part of what I do, because in 2019, I did an event every single month, and I did talks, and it was always about just getting it out there and talking about it more. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of like moving into that aspect of what I do. It lent itself to, okay, what can we do about scarring now? Because there's people that have scarring or pigmentation loss, and a lot of people are kind of told that, yeah, you have to live with it. There's nothing we can do. And yeah, these services are kind of coming on the scene and making a lasting change for people. And you know, there's a lot of stuff that they just say like, yeah, there's no treatment for that. There's nothing. So I'm trying to kind of spread more education around. There can be some solutions. Yeah.
I love that. Tell me a little bit about, you know, I mean, you've talked a little bit about it already, but we're always curious to know, like, what inspires you? Like, you know, what inspires you every day to kind of keep doing this? I mean, it as beautiful as it sounds, you know, the work that you're doing, I imagine that also comes with, you know, some challenges. You must meet some really, like, it must be a big, like, emotional component to the work that you do. And so I'm curious to hear a little bit about what keeps you inspired day to day.
Yeah, I think really, I feel honored to meet the type of people that I tattoo, because they give me a perspective that is hard won, and I'm able to hear their insights and their experiences, and hopefully learn from like those lessons that like the type of things that people have been through.
Yeah.
I always am just like, so yeah, honored by the experience of spending time with those people. And I really do try to foster an environment at my shop that is centered around the experience. So I really hope that people come in and feel comfortable and excited about what they're doing. For a lot of them, it's their first tattoo, so they're being brave about that as well, and the stigma around it for a lot of people too. And you know, low expectations, not really sure what to expect. And I just want them to not only feel happy with the result of the tattoo, but also with their experience with me, their experience with the space, their experience with receiving a tattoo. So yeah, I hope that like, I guess I really try to work off of like the individual person and help them feel comfortable and really sort of like respect what they've been through and but then also just have a good time and yeah, that's my inspiration is trying to be in the moment, but also really kind of like not just push aside who they are and what they've been through and whatever you want to talk about. I'm obviously very talkative, so so
No,
yeah.
I love that because I think you're right. It's, you know, what you're doing is very intimate. You know, there's a lot of emotion, I'm sure, attached to it, especially in the restorative sense, but even in the cosmetic sense, I think getting time where, you know, talking about or judging our appearance,
Totally.
you know, that's a really like sensitive and intimate space. And so, yeah, I think it's wonderful. And I think, you know, it sounds, I'm so excited. I'm like, that sounds like a really cool, and I think that's right, like what you say too, there's that balance between, yeah, they'll probably be nervous and maybe it is their first tattoo, but also let's celebrate it and make it a really positive experience. I love that. Yeah, I love
Well, and like, oh, sorry. Zoom.
No, it's all you, girl. You go for it.
Well, and what you were saying too about cosmetic is, you know, sometimes people get caught up in, you know, oh, you do work for cancer and I want this done for cosmetic. And, you know, like people have sort of a fear of like being judged or perceived in the vanity aspect and stuff like that. And like those things are just as important, because if it bothers you and it's something you're living with and you're altering the way you live your life, why don't you get a tattoo and just move on and feel better about yourself and be able to have more freedom in your life? And sometimes it's the smallest things that can make such a huge difference. So yeah, I think that they are equally important. And I do try to kind of hopefully convey that where, you know, I do have passion for post-mastectomy tattooing, but I believe that everybody's experience and service is valid because it's important to you. And that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, and I agree with you. And Lindsay has taught me a lot about that, because it wasn't, you know, Lindsay would always talk about just, you know, aesthetics, about, you know, we, you know, there's this, you know, people talk about, you know, well, you know, feeling good comes from the inside. And I used to kind of believe that until I met Lindsay and other people who work in the more kind of aesthetics industry and have made it okay that, yeah, like you say, if a small cosmetic or restorative change, whatever it is, helps to make you feel better when you look in the mirror or when you're, you know, looking at yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. And I agree with you. And I definitely, my perspective has changed over the years about that too, because I think it's really easy to assume that, you know, we can do all this work on the inside but there's nothing wrong with, it's not vain to want to change something, like you say, if it makes a huge difference to how you feel, then there's nothing wrong with that. And I think we should celebrate more of that.
Absolutely. Oh, I love this. I'm like busting at the seams because it's so important, right? It's, you know, I think we can develop that inner beauty from the inside out, but sometimes we need to feel beautiful on the outside so that it inspires us to feel beautiful on the inside, you know, and I think they both go.
Of course.
They go both ways. And depending on where somebody is in their life, you know, maybe they really felt beautiful inside and out, and then they have an experience where, you know, they need to get back to that place that they used to be. You know, and I think of people that are undergoing chemo and lose, you know, hair. And I've had women come to me who've lost their fingernails. And, you know, it's a process of allowing those things to come back. And sometimes they don't come back in the way that they used to. So Candice, even knowing that you're doing like the pigmentation on the scalp, I mean, how beautiful is that for somebody not to highlight, but like, oh my gosh, that hair's not coming back. And I'm like, you know what? That's one less thing I have to worry about, because here it looks great. And when I look in the mirror, I feel fantastic. And that affects the way that you show up into your day after day. And then you can start emanating, you know, some of that joy and some of that good feel good juice, right? And share that with the world. So anyway, I'm just so excited. I'm like, yes, love this.
Well, I like some of those points that you made. I'm like, I need to, yeah, like the way you just worded that was really good about and I do try to kind of use that wording as well, but I think the way you said it was really good. It's like, yeah, you're allowed to get back what you have lost, you know, as far as like a nipple tattoo, but also like maybe something has happened that has made you change how you perceive yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that drastic. And yeah, like I really like the way you worded that.
Thanks. Oh my gosh. Well, Candice, I'm just noticing the time, and can you believe that our time has gone by like so quickly? I can't believe it. It's so great to have you here. But for those of our members that are watching and are very inspired by what you shared, where can they find you to get more information, or if they wanted to have a conversation with you, where do you want them to find you?
Sure. So my website is falconartistry.com, and I am nonstop updating it. I just can't leave my website guy alone, apparently. He just takes all my money all the time. Yeah, and then my social media is at Falcon Artistry, and that's Facebook and Instagram. And that's kind of the more like consistently updated portfolio. Awesome. I do have my portfolio on my website as well, but like social media, of course, is a more consistently like just to see pictures and stuff.
Right.
And yeah, I do travel to Kelowna as well. I'm based out of Vancouver, but yeah, I have parts on my website for people to suggest travel locations and everything. You know, obviously keeping in mind that that will be a thing soon. I had plans for out east and everything as well, just to create some more accessibility for people so that they don't feel like, you know, this is something they've been nervous about and they have to travel for it. So yeah, that's my info.
That's so great. Candice, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you spending the time with us, educating us, and giving us the opportunity to share what you do with our people, our networks, our clients, you know, and really have that opportunity to infuse beauty, to infuse hope, you know, and a lot of those feel good vibes, because we are deserving. And I think it's such a beautiful service. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everyone for viewing and having your coffee with the collective this morning. It's a treat as always. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.